Bow down before my psycho power.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to talk about Tekken 8 new update, and I also want to talk about Marvel Tokon and their future update and currently what's going on with that game. If you're new here, subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. It helps out a lot. As for Tekken 8, they have a new battle pass out. It has some reused items. It has some new items. If you're familiar with Tekken 8 battle passes, this one will be no different from those. They are doing something new, however, where they're bringing back returning battle passes that you previously missed out on. The total cost will be $7, but it's split into two different versions, the premium and the free version. The free version, if you missed it and you want it, you have to pay $1. For the premium, you have to pay $6. If you played during those battle passes while they were going on, you could get a discount price depending on how much time you've played. Tekken 8, they're also putting out a Sunny Blue Pack costume as well. I personally think it looks really cool. If you stare at it too long, it does look kind of weird, but this is more so because the female character models in Tekken 8 looks bad generally. Like, there's other developers of other games who said that the character models in Tekken 8 could be a little bit better, but honestly, I don't think they're going to change it. They'll probably just save that for the next game. On the topic of Bob, he looks a little bit weird in the face. This is something we already knew, but I think his gameplay is still cool. He has a lot of his old moves. Some of the stuff doesn't knock down anymore, but it all gives like these crazy kind of mix up that Tekken 8 kind of gameplay is inspired by. Some of his old moves doesn't knock down anymore, but now they give mix ups, and he also has new moves that gives really good mix ups, and then he has a lot of poking type moves. His combo damage is really nice. If you look at Twitter and even on YouTube, you will see people pulling off crazy combos. His combo damage is insane as well. Some pro players are already calling this character Slop. You know, Bob isn't loved by everyone. He's only loved by some. So he already had an uphill battle, but with people seeing the gameplay that they're seeing, they're not really liking what they're seeing. But we'll see how he pans out in terms of actual tournament performance. We'll get to that when we get to it. Before we move on, let me tell you about today's sponsor, 1v1me. It's a major supporter of NA Tekken with a massive roster of players such as Ninja Killer, Joe Crush, Trizzy the Rapper, Shinblade, Landa D, and many, many more. If you're watching this video, chances are you watch Tekken Tournament. So here's an opportunity to make money daily using the 1v1me app. You can also stake on live in-game events like next round winner, next touchdown, or quarter winner.
Now look at that. That's another combo right here. This could be the match.
That's so good.
Hold on, drops the combo. That's a bad drop, though. Come on, K-Dash. Lock in for the stakers.
1v1me paid over $250 million for games like Tekken, Street Fighter, Madden, and Call of Duty, giving you multiple games to make money from. Stake on who you think will win. Keep track of the players' performances with the leaderboards and profiles. Click the link in the description and sign up using code Moonsault to get a up to $25 back risk-free offer. Now, as for the patch overall, most players do not like this update. It definitely did not do enough, but there are a couple of people out there like Arsenal Ash who loves the update. On Twitter, he says, what a beautiful patch, and simply because Brian Fury QCB1 got nerfed, and also Brian Fury's jab string got nerfed as well. 2 hard nerfs for one character. Lily also got her back turn heat smash nerf. It had a lot of pushback in season 2 and season 1, and now that has been fixed. As for King and other characters, there was pretty much nothing that was done. There was a couple of minuscule bugs and minuscule changes, but as for the big damage nerfs and the big frame nerfs, they didn't deliver on this update. They also messed around with like the Oki on how you get up off the ground. Players were telling me that that is nerfed, but once again, we'll give more time for players to truly figure out what's going on there. One of the things that we saw, and this is kind of obvious to explain, is the health bar change from 200 to 190. Now, a lot of people are complaining about this, but this is actually them reverting the update that they did in season 2. Season 2, they gave characters way too much combo damage and way too much combo travel. And if you remember, they buffed the health bar to compensate for that. It did kind of mess up the game. A lot of people hated that update, but now that they dished out some nerfs over these updates, I guess they felt like it was time to revert that previous change. So that's why they did the health thing. Now, with that aside, let's talk about Marvel Tokon because there is a lot happening here. First off, going back to CEO, the top 8 representation was focused on a couple of characters. You had 8 Spider-Mans, 6 Blades, 5 Magnetos, 3 Magics, 2 Green Goblins, and 2 Storms. The funny thing about Green Goblin is a lot of people wrote him off when the game first released, but once Sonic Fox started playing the character and talking about the character on Twitter, a lot of other people started to pick up on the character, and people started to lab, learn, and find a little bit more that can be done with all characters but Green Goblin in this example. A couple of days ago as well, Sonic Fox put out his official tier list on Marvel Tokon. It was Storm, Magic, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Doom, Blade, all at the top, followed by a couple other characters. Notice Champion down there at the bottom. Now, as for the Marvel Tokon player count, it's falling, and it's now underneath Tekken 8, and this is before the Bob update went live. One person on Twitter says, I hate to be dooming, but we're rapidly approaching Strive player count. Strive is 5-year-old game, by the way. So they really had to get this game under control because the PC issues is still affecting that game. And a lot of these issues was caused by one, Sony being in control of the game and doing weird stuff with it. But then two, all of the anti-cheat software to just prevent people from modding the game. But within a week, a little over a week, people broke through all of that. And now people are starting to mod the game. People are starting to figure out that the game actually works better with all of this stuff removed. There was one person on Twitter who says they killed performance and Linux compatibility to prevent modding, only for it to still be modded in less than a month. Screw you, Sony, is what they say. Soon after this, and this is a big one, people are now cracking the game. And you would think, like, why would people crack a game that they already paid for? And that just goes to show how bad the game is running and how long it's taken for them to fix it. It runs smoother on the cracked version of the game, which is crazy. Reading from the Twitter post, it says Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls is facing another problem on PC. And this one is pretty embarrassing for Sony. Players have been testing an unofficial cracked version of the game, and reports now show that it can run much better than the official PC version. The main difference is that the cracked version removes the game, along with some of Sony's security software running with an official version. Some players are reporting smoother gameplay, fewer frame drops, and lower CPU usage. There was another tweet that had almost 20,000 likes, which says, Sony blocked Tokon from 132 countries, destroyed the PC version with its anti-cheat system, and missed out on millions just for the game to get modded 3 hours after launch and cracked 2 weeks later. Genuinely, what was the point? I don't know how willing Sony is to remove a lot of this stuff. Sometimes corporations will put this because they really think it will solve the problem, but then when it gets not only cracked, not only modded through, hacked through, whatever word you want to use it, basically when the players bypass all those restrictions, some corporations will say, okay, we tried it, it didn't work, let's remove it so people could just play the game. I don't know if there's examples of Sony ever doing that. People who play a lot of Sony games on PC can tell me whether or not, or just anything in gaming, how often is this and how likely is for Sony to remove this? Because this is an ongoing problem that's not going to go away anytime soon. And it all revolves around whether or not, one, Marvel Tokon can fix it. We'll talk about their update in just a second. But if Sony is willing to back down on some of this stuff that they're forcing through. Now, on the topic of the Marvel Tokon update, it says, we got an update incoming later this week for our PlayStation 5 and PC players, bringing a range of fixes and improvements to help you get into the fight and stay into the action. One thing that people are also dealing with that is very, 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 very bad is that they're having long load times in ranked and also casual match. This is something that needs to be fixed ASAP, especially with a lot of these other games putting out new updates, new characters. It's competition and people will forget about your game if you're not fast. It goes on to say, here's a look at what's included. Improved matchmaking, okay, so that's what we want. Battle fixes and gameplay adjustments. That sounds like buffs and nerfs, but we'll see how much they're willing to do since the game just released. And then they also say fixes for saves, settings, replays, ranking and achievement tracking, various missions, episodes, UIs, and general stability fixes. So it seems like with this next update, they're trying to do a lot, and hopefully it's enough because this game cannot continue this for a long time. Players want to play it. It's a fun game, but sooner or later, people will just start to move on and play other things.